For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Three Terrible Gamers podcast. I am Ashton here with Colin.
Hey guys.
I know this is the Three Terrible Gamers, but seems like can't keep a third terrible gamer. Nobody wants to talk to us, so that's fine. Me and Colin will do it until Rylan can come back. He's going through some stuff right now, so definitely keep him in mind. But first, we're going to talk about the rumor of the Nintendo Direct this month. Colin, what day do you think it'll take place, and do you think it'll be a general direct, a main direct, or a like a direct mini or a indie showcase?
Well, the research I was doing on it seemed like it was going to come out on the 12th. So, by the time this airs, it's supposed to come out, the day before. So, it's already supposed to be out by the time you listen to this. But I was also doing a little bit more research after the Queen died that Nintendo may take a hiatus on it a little bit to help with the British people in mourning.
Right.
So it may get pushed back to the end of the month. But then again, that could just be Nintendo's excuse for being Nintendo and pushing something back in the first place.
That's true. I think I haven't. I mean, I've done research and stuff, but just my feeling on it, I think it'll be on the 14th. I could be wrong. I have no evidence to back that up whatsoever. I just feel that it would be September 14th. And I think it'll be a main direct because we've had direct minis and indie showcases recently, and several like Pokemon Presents and the Splatoon directs. But I think it'll be just a main Nintendo direct and cover a variety of different Nintendo IPs and other games coming out from other developers.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I definitely think it's going to be a general sense. It seems like that's a common trend for them in the fall time of directing. Is it always seems like it's a general sense and not one specific thing.
Yeah, I heard I was listening to another podcast, and they said that in the past 10 years, there's been a Nintendo Direct 8 of those 10 years, and it's been 8 consecutive years. This will make 9. So in September.
Yeah,
So it's most likely going to be, this month. Um, and the source is coming from Jeff Grubb, which is a pretty reliable source when it comes to this kind of stuff with Nintendo. So that's why the rumors are so strong, is because he's such a reliable source.
yeah. That's actually the website I was reading. That's where I seen the 12th at was through him.
Oh yeah,
So, like I said, but then again, like I said, also on that same website, I seen where it was, where the Queen passed that it could be a pushed back a little bit further. But like I said, it's still all up in the air because it's not a guaranteed date in the first place, as Ashton was saying.
right. And I seen that they were talking about it may be delayed, but I wasn't sure why. I didn't know if it was because of the Queen or another reason.
Yeah. No, it's like I said, if it is, then I mean that's a good excuse at this point. But if it wasn't,
Right.
then what I was saying earlier is Nintendo's just going to be Nintendo.
Right. Well, I mean, past several years there has been a huge Nintendo Direct in June, and we didn't have one this year. They had little
No.
minis and indies, but not a main direct like we usually have. So that's
Yeah,
why a
no,
lot
because
of
that's
people were
whenever this.
disappointed.
Yeah, because that's whenever the Splatoon 3 one came out.
Hmm. A
And
lot
I
of
mean, yeah,
people,
it was half an hour long, but it was just dedicated to Splatoon 3.
right? Usually they have it anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, but it's, a general direct isn't set on just one thing. It's a variety of games coming out. So
Exactly.
mostly they're first party IPs, but
Yep. Which is the whole entire purpose for, I mean, obviously it being Nintendo, because, like I said, it's going to be uh, based on Nintendo thing. I mean, sometimes they'll throw a third party game in there, but it's very, very seldomly they do that.
yeah. And I think I may be wrong on this, but as my memory recalls, the last general direct we had from Nintendo was February, I believe.
I
So
think so.
it's been a while. So we'll definitely do one. All right. Our next topic is continuing on this direct rumors. A lot of people say it's going to be a Zelda blowout. A bunch of Zelda games coming out and getting released. What do you think about that?
I think it's in the makings for it because they could, even with this direct, they could send us more game teasers of Breath of the Wild 2 because obviously they haven't had any more teasers or anything like that since 2019.
Yeah.
So it's possible they're going to do that. I heard that they're going to do a high def version of Wind Waker port to the Switch because obviously there's one for the Wii U, and same way with Twilight Princess. But,
Well,
whether it is a true Zelda blowout or not is still up in the air.
right. Well, I think, like you said, the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess ports have been rumored for a couple years now, and last year was the Zelda 35th anniversary, and they didn't do anything with it except for Skyward Sword HD. So,
Hmm.
and what the producer of Zelda said in the past is he wants one Zelda released every year, and we're due one this year. So I'm thinking definitely something will come out. Probably a Wind Waker Twilight Princess in a dual pack, I would say, full price $60. I think we'll get some stuff, some updates on Breath of the Wild 2, hopefully a release date. If not, maybe another delay or maybe just another trailer. I don't know, but I'm hoping for a release date. And I've also seen some rumors on Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, maybe getting a remake in the style of the new Link's Awakening. A lot of people say that that's a big possibility, and that'd be pretty cool because I know you have that new Link's Awakening. It looks really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm hoping for a lot of Zelda stuff. Um, we're starving for Zelda right now. I've been playing Twilight Princess GameCube version the past few days. I'm about halfway through it, so if I get it on the Switch, that'd be pretty cool. I've been playing on my Odin, so it's portable there too, but it'd be nice to have it first party.
Yeah, that and going back to Breath of the Wild 2 for a second is so you think in theory they released Breath of the Wild on the Wii U technically first, and they tend to only release one main uh, game per franchise per console. So
Yeah,
I'm assuming that the Breath of the Wild 2 technically wouldn't have counted because I know it came out right at the end of the Wii U and right at the start of the Switch, but it technically came out on the Wii U first.
right.
So I'm anticipating them definitely having Breath of the Wild 2 uh, in this one.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean Zelda in general, big Zelda games, they get delayed. It's a common thing. Breath of the Wild got delayed several times. I remember I was a freshman in high school back in 2014. I'd have been a freshman in 2014. There were rumors of Breath of the Wild. It was Zelda Wii U is what they called it back in the day. It was Zelda Wii U in development, and it took them 3 years at that point to release. Time, like you said, they had the Switch out, so they just released it for both. So it was in development for the Wii U, but then it took so long to make it, and it kept getting delayed and delayed. They just put it on both systems.
Oh, yeah. And they kind of delayed Wind Waker initially too after Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Yeah, because Ocarina of Time came out in 1998, and Majora's Mask, they had no time to develop it. It came out in 2000.
No, but they had
And
most of their stuff from Ocarina of Time though, because half the
yeah,
storylines was already done.
yeah, they used the same engine, which that's what they're doing now with Breath of the Wild 2. They're using the same engine as Breath of the Wild 2. That's why a lot of people said that it shouldn't take that long.
But it's a
But
lot
they
bigger
gotta
game.
exactly. They gotta realize the games nowadays are huge compared to what they were back 24 years ago in 1998, and then in 2000.
Plus how big the actual overworld is. By the time you get to the final dungeon, it's literally the same size as the overworld map.
Yeah.
So you think it's that but on steroids because obviously the graphics are a whole lot better than what it was in 8-bit generation.
Oh, yeah. All right. Continuing on these rumors, the next topic is GameCube Switch rumors. Do you think it'll be part of the Nintendo Switch Online subscription, or will they go about it another way?
I think they'll do it via the Nintendo Switch Online. Do I think they're going to charge more for it than what they've already charged for the N64 version? I definitely think so.
Absolutely.
Requires a lot more graphical work than what it was for all the, like I said, bits that were
Yeah.
out right now.
All right. That really surprised me. I didn't think you would say that it would be part of the subscription. I figured you'd go about it a different way.
Are you going to go about it a different way?
I am. I say that they are not going to put it part of the subscription because, in my opinion, they already charge $80 for the Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis. They'd have to up it to at least $100 for the family, you know. So, what I think they're going to do is they're going to, because GameCube and Nintendo 64, obviously they're completely different games. The size difference is huge because one was on a cartridge, one was on a mini DVD. So I think the GameCube games are new enough and they look good enough to just put a fresh set of paint on them, just remaster them and put them out there for full price. I mean, Nintendo, they're going to put them out there for full price.
Yep.
So I think they're just going to remake all of them because there's rumors which obviously Wind Waker and Twilight Princess were already remade on the Wii U, so it's easier to just port them over. But there's rumors of Metroid Prime remastered. So I think it would be a waste of time for them to make those remasters if they're just going to put the others on Nintendo Switch Online, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree. I actually just read my notes and I just went on a whim whenever you asked me that a second ago. Is I actually put down in that in my notes is that it seems like they're probably going to do remakes or remasters. But the part that I was thinking is it would be cool if they did do the whole entire online thing with it.
So would you rather them just put it on the subscription or remaster it?
I would just because at the end of the day, it's still going to be cheaper than paying $60, $60, $60, $60 for all these games, even if they was to bump it up to, $100 total for your subscription fee, which they may dumb it down a little bit more though, because you think going on how Xbox is starting to have their family plan and everything else with the uh, Game Pass, you
Right.
figure that would be a thing to be a competitive nature at that point. So are they going to lose people to go for the cheaper options where there's more games available? Or are they going to buckle down and be like, okay, we're going to give you a, pretty much group discount and knock it down or keep it the same price as what it is for the 64 one?
Yeah.
Obviously,
I
I would
see what
like
you're
to
saying.
see the online because it'd be cheaper in the long run
Right.
for us. But Nintendo would definitely, I'm not going to say they would lose money on it, but they wouldn't make as much money as they would if they put mainline titles remastered.
Right. I see what you're saying. It would be nice to have it cheaper that way, but in my opinion, I'd like to see them come as remasters. Like I said, GameCube games are new enough. Just putting some fresh paint on them, it'd make them look really good. And a lot of them, I mean, even to this day, they play great. So it would cost us more money, but Nintendo, their emulation though, because all of their games on Nintendo Switch Online are emulated.
Yeah,
So their emulation's spotty. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. When the Nintendo 64 first came out, it was pretty buggy and pretty bad. I mean, yeah, they fixed it since then, but even the 3D All Stars collection, Super Mario Sunshine GameCube version, and 64, all those games are emulated. They aren't even ports. They're just They got their graphics are up. They're better graphics, but they're still just emulated. They're not actually ports or remasters at that point. They're just emulated. A lot of techie people have broke down the code and seen that they are using an emulator on those games. So, which they run fine, but I think they'll go about the remaster way, and I would rather them do it that way. So I think we get higher quality products than native,
Oh yeah.
graphics. Because native graphics, I know, I know you don't do a lot of emulation, but I do. I do a lot of emulation. So native GameCube native is it looks good, but it's still blurry. So even if they do a 2x or a 3x resolution, 3x that'd make it 1080p, which is what the Switch outputs on the TV. So that would, if they done a 3x for the remasters, that'd be fine. But if they're going to put it on the Switch subscription service, I think it'll just be native, so they won't up the graphics any, so it'd be kind of blurry a little bit.
Oh yeah, and what was it for the GameCube initially was about a 420 output, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So, like
yeah.
I said, I
So
mean, obviously there's a big difference in between 1080 and 420,
yeah,
but at the same time, even with the 3D All Stars you was talking about for Super Mario Sunshine specifically, since we're talking about the GameCube, the only thing they didn't even go up to the full 1080p. It only went up to the 720 when docked.
right, yeah, exactly. But it still looked better because we're used to seeing it in 420. But
Oh yeah,
just think if they did remaster it, which they're not going to because they've already released it on the Switch.
yeah.
But
No,
other
I think the
GameCube games,
ones they would go for would be obviously Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, as we mentioned before. But I also would see them doing like Metroid Prime and GX F-Zero.
yeah, that's what I was going to mention here in a minute was F-Zero because a lot I mean, it seems like they completely abandoned the F-Zero series since the GameCube. That's the last game they made.
Yeah, because
So
only remnants of them still is Super Smash Brothers with Captain Falcon.
right. So I think they're afraid to make a new F-Zero game because they technically have a racing game with Mario Kart. So I think they're afraid to release another one that it won't sell well. So my theory is they put a new set of paint on F-Zero GX, and then if it sells well, maybe they'll see some people out there that want this game. So then they'll make a new F-Zero. So it's kind of like a test, I think, that they're going to do. Just test the waters, see how it sells, and then maybe go on to make a new F-Zero at that point if it sells well.
Oh yeah, but their whole entire purpose of F-Zero in the first place was to try to hit the older audiences before they realized that everybody enjoyed Mario Kart.
Yeah, that's why
Because
they really haven't
obviously,
touched on it since the
mm-hmm,
GameCube because everybody likes Mario Kart.
because obviously at the end of the day, it's still a Nintendo racer, but one shows that you're going, literally past, I mean, going like 1,000 miles an hour, and the other one you're going normal speed limits.
Yeah, and Mario's more friendly than Captain Falcon.
Oh yeah, and you can choose all the characters in this, not the F-Zero world.
Yeah,
Well, I guess literally every character. I don't know what they've disbanded Fox and Captain Falcon himself. Pretty
yeah,
much a character is known for speed or
yeah,
disband.
yeah.
At Granger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call, clickgranger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
So definitely a lot of GameCube rumors going around, but we'll see what they do. But in my opinion, they'll just go to remaster route and just do select games that way. Next topic, theory if the Miles will come back in Breath of the Wild 2. There's been a lot of that on the internet lately. If the Miles will make a comeback since it takes place in the sky.
I say it's possible just because the malice that is in Breath of the Wild, there in Breath of the Wild 2, that's what's holding up Ganondorf in the initial trailer that we saw.
Mhm.
Assuming that that is him with the red hair and pretty much
I think
dried
it is.
down to bones. But we seen how the Malice manipulated the champions in the initial Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
So it's not too far of a stretch to say that the same Malice has turned into Demise for another boss battle,
it's a possibility.
which obviously Demise is the iteration of Ganon or Ganondorf, really any evil in the Zelda series.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, it is a possibility, due to the malice and it taking place in the sky. But I say no because the Miles is the one who cursed Ganondorf or Ganon and Link in the first place for a reincarnation, so that they'll always reincarnate and fight over the Triforce and everything. So I think since he was in the beginning of Skyward Sword, it's number one in the timeline.
Chronological order.
I think that he will not. It is a possibility, but I don't think he will. I think it just under there, the malice is what is bringing Ganondorf back to life, but I don't think it's related to Demise personally. But I won't say it's not. It's a completely off the wall idea. I think it is possible, but personally, I don't think it's what's going to
Yeah,
happen.
which I mean, it makes sense. It's a rumor, anyways. It's just
Right.
like I said, my theory is where the Malice can manipulate things. It's possible that, like I said, they could bring him in kind of like a Phantom Ganon type of situation.
Could.
Face
Yeah.
off right before you face the real thing.
Yeah, it's a possibility. But about Ganondorf in that trailer, there's been also some theories saying that because Nintendo hasn't told us anything about it. There's been some
Hmm.
theories saying that it's related to Twilight Princess because the wound that the malice comes out of is where he was stabbed in Twilight Princess, right in the chest, and there's rumors that it's directly related to Twilight Princess.
That is possible. I mean, it's not the first time they've obviously continued, because obviously there's three different timelines in the first place, but it's not the first time that they've pursued that because what was it? A Link Between Worlds was a direct sequel to A Link to the Past so many years
Yeah,
later.
yeah, a long time ago.
I mean, at that point, it was almost, what, a 20-year difference because it came out in 92 and A Link to the Past came out in 13.
Yeah,
So a 21-year difference.
yeah. Because before that, I believe Link's Awakening was considered the sequel.
Hmm. Even though it didn't even take place remotely anywhere in the universe.
Right. They were just saying that's why he was on the ship as he was leaving after the Link of the Past adventure. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of theories out there.
Oh, definitely. That's probably the biggest lore that's been around for the longest time.
Oh yeah, for sure. All
And
right.
I don't think Nintendo expected them to get as big as what they got with, because it was for the longest time they was just seemed like they was making up stuff just to try to make people happy with the lore until they came up with that encyclopedia book for it.
Yeah, and they were just making stuff up, but it's funny how it all ends up tying together in a way. The timeline is confusing, but if you are a Zelda fan, you can understand it. So it does all tie together in a sense.
Oh, definitely.
All right. Our next topic. We've talked about one of our favorite games of all time, and since this is more of a GameCube themed podcast, we're going to do a deep dive into Super Mario Sunshine. So, what do you have to say about
Well, some of my favorite levels on there is anytime you're dealing with the piranha plant.
it? Yeah.
I always enjoyed making him all nice and big and just jumping on his belly to make the water explode. Or the one time whenever he's flying around the map and you gotta shoot him with those little tiny pig fangs with Flood.
Honestly, hated that level.
I hated it for the difficulty that it was, or
Yeah.
just the annoyance of it. Wasn't really difficult, it was just annoying because
Yeah.
that's one of the levels where it seemed like the camera controls were janky. But other than that, it was still fun because you still pretty much done the same thing. And
Right.
then obviously the final levels on it the final level, because I just had an accomplishment feature on it. Because the first time that I played through, I was so careful whenever I was doing it. I didn't crash the ship one time going up to Bowser's, uh, where you go up to fight Bowser. But
Corona
granted,
Mountain.
whenever I was like trying to speed run it, I definitely hit it a few times.
The mechanics on that boat's not very good.
No,
So what's one
well,
of your worst levels that you dislike?
the eel.
The eel? I agree with that. That's one of the worst.
Not only is it hard to get to that world in the first place because you got to get into camera controls, it's just whenever you got to go down there and clean that thing's teeth, it's just constantly trying to avoid the poison that's on its teeth until it is clean, then having to go find coins to refill your air supply.
Yeah, that level sucked.
But I
Do you
also hate, what is it?
go ahead?
But I also hated the level where you was pretty much a pinball because it just seemed like I could never collect all those coins without dying.
Yes, that level. That was another one that the mechanics were awful on. Just seemed like that level in general was just so glitchy.
Hmm.
Do
What
you
about
have a favorite world?
uh I would say the one with the raccoon shop on it, the Rito, but not Rito, that's Zelda.
Rico Harbor.
Yeah, Rico Harbor. I knew it started with an RI. But yeah, Rico Harbor is probably my favorite just because another one of my good levels that I did enjoy was the squid races.
Hmm. Do you have a worst world?
Worst world, I would say actually is the lighthouse one where you
Uh,
enter in on the lighthouse. Can't remember what it's called, but just those ducks were so annoying.
Oh, it's there's two beaches. It's not Serena Beach. It's the other one.
Yeah, no, it's not Serena Beach. Serena Beach is the one with the giant manta ray. It comes and
Yeah,
tries to electrocute you.
it's one of the July Beach or something like that, maybe.
I think so. I just know it's like one of the first ones you unlock.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, first I'll talk about Yoshi. I like right on Yoshi on that game. Just different fruits because he's a picky little guy. But
Yeah.
uh, once you had him, it was pretty cool. You know, the run around with him. He couldn't be in water. He hated water, so he'd always disappear if you got in water, which makes no sense because the whole game is surrounded by water. But I guess they just made it to make it harder. But I did like Yoshi on that game.
Yeah,
My
Yoshi would have been kind of overpowered if he was able to go in water.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. The worst level, in my opinion, is Serena Beach Episode 6. It's the one where you have to clean up the beach from that shocky paint crap.
Oh, and with that time limit.
Yeah, I hated that level. It took me so long to beat that. It took me years to beat it. Carter, he couldn't beat the game because he couldn't beat that level. And I beat it for him, and then he finally beat the game. I
Yeah,
would,
that part always annoyed me because, I mean, I never did have an issue beating it, but at the same time, it was just that annoying feature. I'm just like, this thing literally stormed the beach in episode one. Why am I fighting it 5 episodes later? Like
yeah,
cleaning it up after it.
exactly. I hated that. And then my second worst level was Peanut Park Episode 8, which was the roller coaster one, but you had to shoot all those balloons.
Yeah,
I still have never beat that level, ever.
yep.
I
And
hate
that's
that
another
one.
thing I was going to bring up on this topic was the quest to 121 shine sprites.
I've never 100% it. And just the
No.
stupid blue coins, I hate collecting them all.
Oh yeah, they're annoying, and some of them's hard to get to in the first place.
Right, and it's kind of like the Korok seeds in Breath of the Wild. Not as many blue coins as Korok seeds, but still, it's kind of just pointless and out of the way. It
Yeah.
seems like to
Only
me.
time they was purposeful is if they was en route, and if it was like a couple shine sprites from getting your turbo nozzle and your rocket nozzle,
Yeah, exactly.
because those ones were pretty much the only thing that was based on how many shine sprites you had.
Yeah.
because the rest of them was depend on Hank from the previous world, which still kind of equal to the Shine Sprites, but I think you had to have 20 for the the rocket nozzle, then you had to have 25 or 30 for the turbo nozzle.
And then my best level was the Rico Harbor episode 2, the blooper racing one that you was talking about. I love that one, racing those little colorful squid things. And my second favorite was the Bianco Hills episode 8, which you also talked about, was the first Petey Piranha level where you do the ground smash or whatever on his belly after you fill him up with water. And my worst world was Noki Bay. I hated that world. That's the one with the eel you was talking about. That whole world, all of those episodes I hated. Even the Shadow Mario one, because he would climb up real up high and you'd have to chase him up high. And
the easiest level was actually when you chase Shadow World.
Exactly. And I hated it.
Because Shadow Mario in every single overworld, it was a decent fight to get him, but I think I had him knocked out within 20 seconds on that world.
I think they kind of knew it was harder, so I think they may have nerfed him a little bit. I don't have any proof to back that up. It just seems like it.
But usually it seems like that's the last world people beat too before the Great Flood happens.
Yeah, because pretty much everybody saves that one for last because everybody hates that world.
Yeah.
And then my best world, I said Pianta Village, which is the one on top of the giant Shine Sprite, the big gate or whatever.
Yeah.
I like that world. I just like where it has different variants like night and day, and I like that world.
Yeah. One of my annoying levels on that world was when you had to get that
I didn't like that level either because it took me forever. He'd make several laps around before I could get him to turn into the pool.
Yep. Then,
Go ahead.
I was just going to bring up the red coins before you could go on to fight Shadow Mario, and I think it was over where you got launched out of that thing into the you mentioned it earlier. It's where you fight the Mecha Bowser.
Peanut Park.
Oh yeah, but with Peanut Park, it was the where you had to collect those 6 red coins, and I remember Ashton going out and buying that book just for us to beat that level growing up.
Yeah, most of Super Mario Sunshine we didn't need a book for, but that level we did.
Yeah, and I believe I borrowed it first because I was the one that beat it first, and like you said, I don't think you beat it till you was in your 20s.
It took me 18 years to beat that game. Now the Switch version, it took me a month, but of course I was younger.
You was younger way back when, and now, and then it helped that you already knew where 99% of the stuff was. Some of it was just relearning the new mechanics.
But also, I will say I think I was better at the game in some senses back then because I played it all the time. I'm kind of out of it and I get back into it now. It takes me a little bit to get used to it, but once I do get back into it, I'm pretty good. But
oh yeah, definitely. It's just like riding a bike.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Do you have anything else to say?
No, just follow our YouTube channel, follow our Instagram, Discord, Twitch, and that's about it.
Yeah, we definitely went over a little bit, but that's fine. We was talking about some good stuff today. A lot of news and rumors, and talking about a really good game with Super Mario Sunshine. So.
Leave it to the Nintendo kids to talk about Nintendo stuff, even though we make fun of Nintendo all the time, or mainly I do.
I mean, they're easy to make fun of, but they're still my favorite company that makes games. Xbox is second favorite, but Nintendo definitely for sure. Just a lot of memories with them, so that's why I think I stick to them even to this day, mainly.
Yep.
But yeah, like Colin said, definitely check out all of our socials, and we appreciate you guys listening to us. And we'll get our third Terrible Gamer back with us soon. Just keep listening to us, and
go check him out in the meantime.
Yeah, definitely go check out his YouTube. Yeah, Furious Quicks. Go check him out and give him some support. And we appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening.
All right. Later, guys.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.